Hello, today we are rolling with a black belt. His name is Shawn Melanson, and we're going to break down some of his moves because he has some really good moves. I step in, and he inverts, gets the underhook, and gets this really cool sweep. And one key for ankle lock defense is to see how I'm posting on his knee pit. That helps you slip your knee. Once your knee is slipped, then you are pretty much clear of danger. And here he inverts around my single. Now this is really cool. He's going in for a Kimura. I know this. So I'm pulling out my arm to defend against the Kimura and go for a double leg from the knees. And look at what he does with his hand. He posts on my hip, and this does two things. This both blocks my arm so I can't get a post to defend against the sweep, and it levitates me to make the sweep more statistically probable. This is really interesting. That was a good open guard sweep.
Today's gonna be the day that they're gonna throw it back to you. By now you should have.
Here, I'm going for my own ankle lock. I go to cross ashi, get the inside heel hook, and do you see how he's controlling my wrist? That is great defense because I can't hook the underneath of his heel and get a heel hook if he's controlling the wrist.
I don't believe that anybody feels the way I do about you now. Backbeat, the word is on the street that the fire in your heart is out. I'm sure you've heard it all before, but you never really had a doubt. I don't believe.
All right, now I'm pitting both of his legs.
That anybody feels the way I do.
And you see how he rolls to his knees? This is so cool. Do you see how he peeked out to the opposite side and immediately got a hook in? Typically you peek out to the side, to the other side. This is such a sweet judo type rolling armbar. So he has the leg underhooked, and I am hipping out to release the control of his hook on my leg, and he transitions to a triangle. As I spin out to defend against the triangle, he shoulder rolls. That way he regains control, and it's basically a counter to the defense of escaping a triangle. So that's a cool shoulder roll, because typically what happens is they will spin, and you'll end up flattened out on your stomach and lose the triangle. So if you shoulder roll, then you are one step ahead of the defense, which is where you want to be. That's the only place you find happiness. Murdered my ego when you walked away. It hurt my ego when you walked away. Gave you my all that couldn't make you stay. Murdered my ego when you walked away. Ego death is where you find happiness. That's the only place you find happiness. Hold on, this train going by. Here again, he's going for the Kimura, and I know what he's doing, so I'm defending against that grip.
A lot of people be thinking, but I'm just a sayer. Artists can't perform a Super Bowl, but it's okay for the players. All these halfway movements.
And this is a killer sweep that I've seen Shawn do multiple times. He is so good at that sweep. So what I'm paying attention to here, first he has a grip on the back of my head. He has the tie. Second, looks like a corner throw. So look at the placement of his foot. It's centered, and then he is getting an angle and falling to his right side as he traps that far arm to make sure that the post can't go any further.
So say good night to the bad guy. Come on. The last time you're gonna see a bad guy like this again, let me tell you.
Dunked on him, now I'm swinging off the rim. Been coming off the bench, while I'm coming off the court fully drenched. Here goes some haterade, get your thirst quenched. Style on him in this Burberry trench. These birds copy every word, every inch. But gang got the hammer and the wrench.
All right, now these next moves are super interesting. There was a statistical analysis done for competitions, and there was here I am trying to do a single leg, and any type of single leg takedown that was attempted, this counter is what was statistically most successful. Look at this setup. Now typically somebody does an Uchimata, but if you can get your leg across both of their legs, that makes the sweep even more, makes the throw even more powerful. So typically the counter is an Uchimata to any single leg. However, if you can get both of your leg across both of theirs, then that's money. And here's a small detail. Do you see how he decreases the space between his shin and the mat? This is really cool right here. So this is a scorpion lock, but he has this leg configuration, and typically when somebody does that, they're going for a twister, and the defense against a twister, he would have to get that top side arm. And so when I defend against that top side arm, him grabbing it, that perfectly sets up this head and arm choke from the rear, which is most like a darce. So we can just call this like a rear naked darce, which is so great because typically it's so great when you attack and it's the other person is thinking of other things that you may be doing, but then you end up doing something completely different, and their defense to what they think that you're going to do sets up what you're actually doing. That's some black belt stuff right there.
I pull up in that $250,000 off the lot. Oh, now she trying to be friends like I forgot. Show off my diamonds like I'm signed by the rock. Ain't pushing out his baby's telly by the rock. Hey yo, I been on, shoe been con, Bentley tints on, Fendi prints on. I mean I been storm, X-Men been form. He keep on dialing Nicki like the prince on. I been on, shoe been con, Bentley tints on, Fendi prints on. Hey yo, I been off, Laura been cropped. Play say Chang Lee, drop the bins off. Oh, I get it.
So say good night to the bad guy.
Getting dragged across the mat is really funny.
The last time you're gonna see a bad guy like this again, let me tell you.
I went.
Here I tried to hop over both. Oh, here goes for the sweep. And what I did was I posted out extremely far because I knew he would try to block my arm and go, oh, he's going for a sweep again. So how I countered that was I put my weight backward, and he ended up setting up, like a triangle.
The chopsticks, put it in my bun just to pop it. I'm always in the top feeds basket. How many of them could've did it with finesse? Not everybody like she really is the best. You played checkers, couldn't beat me playing chess. Now I'm about to turn around and beat my chest. Just King Kong, yes, this King Kong, just King Kong.
That's also a really great move. This right here is really interesting. As I go for a half guard safety, do you see this type of levitation? This is a similar movement to an elevator sweep.
This is King Kong, Chinese.
This was such a sick sweep.
King Kong, Siamese links on. Call me 2 Chainz, name go ding dong. This is King Kong, yes, I'm King Kong.
And he again is trying to lock up the scorpion, so I'm blocking his leg with my leg.
This is King Kong? Yes, Miss King Kong. You're in my kingdom with my Tim's on. How many championships? What? 6 rings on.
You know, posting high, trapping both of his arms. That way it prevents against a choke.
They need rappers like me, so they can get on their keyboards and make me the bad guy, Chung-Mi.
And here I'm trying to set up an ankle lock and he's defending by kicking my legs away as he is going under my chin, and I'm fighting to get the knuckle line, but he uses that. Typically when you're getting choked, the key to defense for ripping off the choke is to grab their knuckle line and rip down. Now what you can do, what he did is he timed that, so he knew I was going to grab it, and at that same time he used that to get wrist control. Well, not technically wrist control. You're supposed to grab the thumb line to rip off the rear naked choke, and then he grabs my knuckle line in order to control that one hand. And then once you have, if you have a rear naked choke on and one of their arms trapped, and if you can get their second arm trapped with your leg, then it's pretty much, very statistically probable you're going to finish.
21st century, doing something mean to it. Do it better than anybody you ever seen. Do it. Screams from the haters, got a nice ring to it. I guess every superhero need his theme music. No one man should have all that power. The clock's ticking, I just count the hours. Stop tripping, I'm tripping off the power. The system broken, the schools closed, the prisons open. We ain't got nothing to lose, no. Roll with some light-skinned girls and some pretty roads. In this white man world, we the ones chosen. So good night, cool world, I'll see you in the morning. I'll see you in the morning. This is way too much, I need a moment. No one man should have all that power. The clock's ticking, I just count the hours. Stop tripping, I'm tripping off the power. Till then, fuck that, the world's ours. The sauce is Napoleon, my pose is Mongolian, my ice brought the goalies and I embody every characteristic of the egotistic. He knows he's so fucking gifted. I just needed time alone with my own thoughts. Got treasures in my mind, but couldn't open up my own vault. I tell like creativity, purity, and honesty is honestly being crowded by these grown thoughts. So one man should have all that power. The clock's ticking, I just count the hours. Stop tripping, I'm tripping off the power. Till then, fuck that, the world's ours.
Drop top, smoking, no cooking, the hot bar. Fucking on your bitch, yeah, that. Cooking up dope in the crock pot. We came from nothing to something, nigga. I don't trust nobody, grip the trigger. Nobody call up the gang and they come and get janked. Cry me a river, give you a tissue. Bad and bullshit, bad. Cooking up dope with a Uzi. My niggas are savage, ruthless. We got 30s and 100 rounds too. My bitch is bad and bullshit, bad. Cooking up dope with a Uzi. My niggas are savage, ruthless. Drop top, smoking, no cooking, the hot bar. Fucking on your bitch, yeah, that. Cooking up dope in the crock pot. We came from nothing to something, nigga. I don't trust nobody, grip the trigger. Nobody call up the gang and they come and get gang. Cry me a river, give you a tissue. It's bad and bullshit, bad. Cooking up dope with a Uzi. My niggas are savage, ruthless. We got 30s and 100 rounds too. My bitch is bad and bullshit, bad. Cooking up dope with a Uzi. My niggas.
It's a whole lot of money in this motherfucker. Look, can we run no broke shit, that broke shit get old. And look, can we run no hoe shit, these hoes get too bold. I'm allergic to that no shit, my wrist game on cold. I might peel my coupe like just see that, you Tamara.
What's Tia? My pussy pretty, I fuck them like porn stars.
I'm playing basketball, but my bitches is all stars.
Da Vinci on my wrist, cause I'm richer than most broads.
Yo, Nick, these bitches trippin', let's send them a postcard. I put on my jewelry just to go to the bodega. And I keep it with me just so that I'm feeling safer. Fendi on my body, but my feet is in Bottega. Bitch, I'm getting money, give a fuck about a haters.
This here with all the ice on in the booth. At the gate outside, when they pull up, they give me loose. Yeah, jump out, boys. That's Nike boys hopping our goose. This shit way too big. When we pull up, give me the loot. What's off the Remy? Had a back boost. Had to hit my old down. You duck the news. 24-hour lockdown. We made no moves. Now it's 4 a.m. and I'm back up popping with the cool. I just landed in. Chase B mixes pop like John. Jamba Juice. Different color chains, see my jeweler really selling fruits. And they joking, man, know the crackers wish you was a no. Someone said, play up the keys. Someone said, this shit way too formal, y'all know I don't follow suit. Stacy Dash, most of these girls ain't got a clue. All of these hoes I made off records I produce. I might take all my exes and put them all in a group. Hit my essays, I need the booch. About to turn this function on a room. Told her I been, you coming too. In the 305, bitches treat me like I'm Uncle Luke. Have to slot the top off, it's just a roof. She said, where we going? And I said, the moon. We ain't even make it to the room. She thought it was the ocean, it's just a pool. Now I gotta open, it's just a ghost. Who put this shit together? I'm the glue. Someone said, shorty face got me out the blue. Someone said, motherfucker, someone said.
Astro. Yeah. Hey. Out like a light, hey, like a light, hey, like a light, hey, slept through the flight, hey, not for the night, hey, 767, man, this shit got double bedroom, man, I still got scores to settle, man, I crept down the block, made a right, yeah, cut the lights, yeah, paid a price, yeah, niggas think it's sweet, it's on sight, yeah, nothing nice, yeah. Vegas, my ice, Jesus Christ, checks over stripes, yeah, that's what I like, that's what we like, lost my respect, you're not a threat, when I shoot my shot, that shit wetty like on Shaq, see the shots that I took, wet like on Brooke, wet like on Lizzie, I be spinning probably circle blocks.
Alright, thank you so much for watching. I'm in Florida right now. I have to go train. And yeah, until next time, bye.
I'm back with Boo. It's lit. Got Ferrari. Jamba Juice. Yeah, we back on the road. They jumping up, no parachute. Yeah, shorty in the back. She say she working on the glutes. Yeah, ain't by the book. Yeah, it's how it look. Yeah, got a check. Yeah, just check the foots.